Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and we're going to talk about the 2024 revision to the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Player's Handbook that's coming out. And we're going to talk about this from a brand new, amazing piece of information that came from Tejas Abadia, who was literally in the room where it happened. He was in the Dungeons & Dragons in the 2023 Spring Dungeons & Dragons Influencer Summit. He carried out special information before anybody else had it, right? He carried out information for the Dungeons & Dragons for Dungeons & Dragons 2024 revision for the Dungeons & Dragons Player's Handbook. So what is this shocking piece of information? 100% of the art will be new. That means new cover, new interior illustrations, new everything. Absolutely, and that is massive. Okay, that is a really big deal. So one, I own a 2014 Dungeons & Dragons core. I own a 2014 Player's Handbook, and I literally bought it I think I bought it day of release, if not within the first week of the release. So this is, and you will hear tons of people saying that the quality, that say the quality on D&D books is not good, both physically and the writing, the layout, and the art, right? And this is just factually incorrect in my humble opinion. It just ignored. And I can tell you right now, I've used my D&D PHB a lot of times, right? I'm flipping through books mostly as a dungeon master. I use my PHB more as a dungeon master than I do as a player, right? But looking up spells and for the spells that my non-player characters are casting, and I've flipped through that things literally 1,000 times, right? And it's still, the binding's perfect. It looks ragged because I've dropped it and I've poured coffee on the cover, and but it's together. It holds, right? But the thing is, so why am I going to buy this new 2014 revision? Well, that's a big one, right? And here's why, right? This is the interesting part. D&D canon. How is D&D canon established, right? Well, it's established through writing, through layout, okay, stat blocks, and how information is communicated is a really big part of D&D canon, right? And literally, you'll see a lot of DM's Guild and other authors literally mimic the layout from Dungeons & Dragons, saying this is canon, right? And so the canon comes to us. So D&D canon comes from a lot of sources. It comes through the writing. Of course, the words in the D&D canon hardbacks are canon, right? But the layout also helps establish canon. And get this, the art establishes canon. Now, let's not get it twisted. Canon comes into D&D from incredible sources now, right? Canon is coming into Dungeons & Dragons through Magic the Gathering every single day, right? Canon is coming into Dungeons & Dragons through other products, right? And this is new. This is not done on any other product in the world, any other intellectual property in the world, the way Dungeons & Dragons does it. Canon comes in from incredible sources, right, on Dungeons & Dragons. Magic the Gathering, and because Magic the Gathering has multiple products underneath of it, also we're about to get a Dungeons & Dragons, true Dungeons & Dragons Lego set, right? There's your D&D miniatures, there's your D&D terrain, and an invitation that every single Lego set that has ever been created can be used as miniatures and as terrain. It's incredible, right? So, but let's talk about art. So art is really, really special, right? And that means that there's going to be 15 to 50 new canon creators in Dungeons & Dragons, because those pictures that are in the book are canon, right? And so when you see a picture in the book in the PHB, they're like, hey, inclusion, right? Look, this dwarf has black skin, right? He's black, right? This adventure is a woman. This person has this type of body type. Oh, and it's not svelte and muscle, right? And it's saying canon, right? D&D inclusion and progressiveness are canon, right? And every single new piece of art is going to be canon, right? It's going to establish canon for Dungeons & Dragons. And that's huge, right? That means no DM in the world, no dungeon master in the world won't own both, right? Worth their salt. No good DM will only own the 2014 or the 2024. And I'll tell you right now, get your 2014 D&D Canon PHP right now, because in my humble opinion, it ain't gonna do nothing but go up. I really think that's the case, all right? Which is really, really fascinating. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.